Welcome to this week's edition of the Sports Scoop Coaches Show. Joining me is Mr. Frigid himself, Ted Hammond.
Yeah.
And Ted,
go
before you get going, I just want you to know that it's probably a good thing you're lucky that I'm here today.
I'm lucky you're here
I'm
today?
a Powerball winner.
Oh, my God. Are you serious?
Last night, Ted, I pulled down $4 in the Powerball.
Oh, my God.
Drawing divided between 5 people, so I'm trying to decide what to do with my 80 cents. Of course, it costs you $2 to get in, so I guess I didn't come out ahead anyway.
Well, God, just rub this off on you.
Yeah,
Holy crap.
But how about that?
Well, now they got the big one coming up.
Yeah.
Win that. Why go for the paltry $900 million?
That was my thought, yeah. Well, Teddy, let's start with basketball, and the Bulldogs broke the streak with a couple of wins this week.
Unbelievable. We're 2-0 for the new year, baby.
There you go.
And we started out on a Monday with Nicollet right after the break, and we'd go on a week without practice because we had Christmas off, and then we had practice the next week, and I thought, how are we going to respond this year? And Nicollet had played over the tournaments, played a tournament over Christmas, so they had a couple games up on us. And I tell you what, there was a pink out night. We had a cancer night over at Nicollet, and I don't know. Apparently, Nicollet forgot to show up, but it ended up final score was like 80-41, and we had everybody score that suited up, and we just kept a full court or half court press on, and they couldn't handle it, and so we just kept it on, and we just kept running wave after wave of guys in, and for us it was just a great win. We needed to stop that skid, like I told you, and I just said we're starting a new year. Let's see how far we go in the new year with the wins, and we got off to a good start on Monday night, and for the game we had 3 guys in double figures. And that's what we're looking for. If we can get 3 guys to distribute the workload and get to 55 points, we're going to be in the ball game. We've convinced ourselves of that, and we're playing to that mode right now. Corbin Burley, who you probably haven't heard the name much, but junior, who just gives you everything he's got every night in practice, and he goes hard on defense, and always asking what he can do to get better, sticks around the gym, shoots after practice and stuff. He had 16 points, so he's well rewarded for that. Then we had mainstay Brandon Sack. Okay, we call him Cheetah now, not Turtle. He came with 14, and then we had Walker Miller. Walker started, first time in a long time he started. He's senior guard, and he had 3 threes and had a nice game from the field and hit some free throws and had a great game. So there's the 3 guys in doubles, and like I said, everybody else scored too. We had Levi Claybaugh. Haven't heard that name much. And Levi came off the bench. The little forward we got, kind of a relation to the Claybaugh here in Waseca. And he had 9 points. So, I mean, go on and on down the line. I could name the whole lineup. But we out-rebounded really badly. We have a goal sheet at the locker room. And on it we have 8 offensive goals and 8 defensive goals. And I've never had all 16 filled in. We had 15 out of the 16. Wow. So that showed you. But then on the same token, Nicollet struggling. So we couldn't hang our hat on that. And then Lake Crystal came in on Thursday night. Lake Crystal goes up and down. And we took them out. We got to come up with a warning on our program when you walk into the gym. And it has to say something like, be prepared for the last 6 minutes. So if you got a bad heart, you got a pacemaker, if you're pregnant, if you got irregular bowels or something, you might not want to stick around for the last 6 minutes. Because we just put out a show like you can't believe. We can dominate a game, and then all of a sudden that last 6 minutes sits in. And we hung on. Geez, we had a nice lead, and all of a sudden it's down to 4. And we got a favorite play we call Sam, where the defense has to go in a full court press, and we bring everybody flying to the ball, and then one guy releases and goes to the other end. Usually you're wide open. I mean, there's nobody on the other end of the court with you. You put in an easy layup, and you lock up the game. Well, we had a timeout. It says time run Sam, and they had a guy that's pretty smart. He didn't bite like they normally do, and he went right with Josh Janicki and Turtle, Brandon Sack, throws a beautiful pass, right over the shoulder catch, lays it in, locks up the game. I get fouled, they didn't call, but so in all, it was a great game, an exciting game, like I said, and we needed that win at home. First time we won at home with the new gym. They repainted the gym and resurfaced and things, and we finally christened it. We had a great little celebration afterwards. For the game and that one, we only had 1 double figure, but then again we had 9 guys score because I'm platooning right now, and we just try to wear the other team down. Had a great game again, and this time it was Josh Janicki came through with 17, and he was 8 for 11 from the field. And once Josh gets a step on you, he's going to the hoop. You're not going to stop him. You can foul him, but you're not going to stop him because he's quick and he slashes, and he's really fun to watch when he's in an operating mode like that. Having a little trouble with 3 right now, but once we get that squared away, then they won't be able to take away. Have to, if he can drive, they can take that away, and then he can shoot the 3, pop back out and shoot it. So only got in doubles, but we had a lot of guys that contributed on defense, and that's been we're hanging our hat on defense. Final score on that was 55-49. Anytime we can hold a team less than 55 points, we figure we're in the ballgame. We score for more than 55, we know we're going to win. So they're typical of our goal sheet. That's what we did. So it was fun. We're 2-0. We've got some renewed vigor. We're saying, okay, now we can win the close games, but now we got a bunch of them coming up. We're going to go next week. Tuesday, we got, let's see, Wham at home. Waterville coming in with Wagner and the boys.
And we'll see how your platoon system works against Wham, because I've never seen anybody tire them out.
Nope. Well, we're not going to tire them out. We just want to stay with them. But at the same token, then we go Thursday night. We got, let's see, St. Clair. Then we got Friday night. We got a makeup, I think, for the Alden, I'm going to guess. Then we got another Monday game. So we're going to be 4 games in 6 days, and that's why we're going to need the platooning, definitely, with the upcoming schedule we got. But at the same time, we wanted to see what we can do against Wem. I said, if we're going to be a good team, we got to beat a good team. Mm-hmm. Wem's a good team. Nurhague, and we got them coming up in the following week, and we got St. Clair's a good team. So the teams we're playing next week, they're going to be good teams. So if we just put a win on the board, we can say we're a good team. We'll see what happens.
So the Bulldogs improved to 3-8 for the year, mm-hmm. and Tuesday night, WEM comes to Janesville.
Yep, that's where we go, baby.
NRHEG, the Panthers are now 8-6 for the year. They had just one game, and that was the old rivalry, Wem and NRHEG. Waterville came out on top, 62-51. So the Panthers, as we said, 8-6. Tuesday they will go to Blooming Prairie. WEM, Jeff Wagner's crew, 10-3 now for the year. They lost to Maple River in that big game in the Gopher Conference, 62-49, Maple River, and obviously they're the real deal.
They are.
And then, as we mentioned, they defeated New Richland to split for the week. Tuesday they will be in Janesville against Teddy's Bulldogs. Woo. And Waseca running into a little tough times now. They are now 11-5. Remember, they were 10-0 at the start of the year. 11-5. They defeated New Ulm, and everyone thought the ship was back on track. 87-47, but then in the old icy roads, are we going to play or not Friday, they went to St. Peter, a team they had beaten by 21 points at home. St. Peter defeated Waseca 60-53. So the Jays, as we said, 11-5. They each have a one-game week. They make the long trek to Fairmont on Friday.
Fairmont, who they just beat?
I don't know. They're kind of up and down, too. St. Peter did defeat Fairmont early in the week. But,
okay.
So those are probably the top 3 teams in our half.
Okay.
Girls basketball, JWP, they're slowly climbing up the ladder. They are now 5-7 for the year. They defeated Martin Luther 48-42. They lost to Martin County West, and they must be the real deal in girls, 75-42.
And they had to make the trip down to Sherburne. That's a long trip.
And yesterday, they were in that Hayfield Invite, I guess it was called. They defeated Triton 61-54. So as we mentioned, after a slow start, they're now 5-7 for the year. Mm-hmm. Thursday, they have WEM coming to town. NRHEG, the Panthers having a good season in girls hoops, 10-4 overall. They they lost to Kenyon early in the week, 63-50, and they lost to WEM 64-55. So they were 10-2. They're still 10-4. Pretty good season going. Yesterday they played in that Hayfield thing as well. Well, I think they had like 8 teams playing at 2 sites, and it was...
Okay, well, didn't they have that the week before, too? At Hayfield thing, or over Christmas or something, before Christmas?
They might have had the Christmas one, too.
Okay.
The Panthers yesterday defeated Stewartville 68-52. Tuesday, they will have Blooming Prairie coming to town. WEM, Gabe Hauer's crew, 8-3 for the year. They defeated Maple River 53-32 and defeated NRHEG 64-55 for the week. Tuesday, they have Blue Earth coming to town in a non-conference game. And what has happened to the Waseca Lady Jays? After, I believe, a 7-1 start, they're now 8-5 for the year. They lost to New Ulm, and listen to the scores, folks, 63-41. They lost to St. Peter 50-40. They lost to Byron yesterday 67-40. And all of a sudden, we're in the offense of a year ago.
Cold weather.
Not scoring any points.
It's cold weather.
Byron was a 11-2 team, so I mean those 3 teams are decent. New Ulm's really made a turnaround after winning about one game the last 2 years. They're over 500 this year.
Maybe 10 games this century, maybe.
Yep.
Okay.
And St. Peter is probably the favorite on this side of the conference. So the Jays now down to 8-5. Tuesday, they travel to Waconia, and Waconia is about 10-3 for the year. So tough schedule for the Lady Jays, but they've got to get it turned around. They can't win scoring 40.
I agree.
The hockey teams, the boys hockey team at Waseca, 4-7 overall. They had just one game. They lost to St. Peter 5-1. Monday, Worthington makes the long trip here to Waseca.
All right.
The girls hockey team, after winning that tournament, turned around and shut out St. Peter 2-0. They also have Worthington coming to town Monday. The girls are 10 wins, 7 losses, and a tie. Good season for Kyle's crew.
Who'd have thought that?
Yes,
Really?
Exactly. And they're
so young.
2 seniors on the entire team.
Yep.
The gymnastics team.
There's a sighting. There was.
St. James was scheduled to come to town Waseca. That was postponed because of the weather. They were in a invite at New Prague yesterday. Couldn't find a thing on that. So,
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Looked high and low too, Teddy. You know
I'm
how
sure you did.
diligent
Well,
I
if
am.
Andy can't find it, it can't be found.
Tuesday, the Jays will be at Cato East in gymnastics. And our wrestling teams, Waseca 2-2. Their Friday night duel with St. James was postponed because of the weather. They were down at Plainview, Elgin, Millville yesterday, and the guillotine had nothing posted.
Well, you know what really sad is? My next door neighbor is Dave Killian. Okay, he's got his son Jack Killian on the wrestling team. He comes over and they want to borrow some ingredients for tacos the other night. Okay, and he doesn't even give me a report. Wouldn't you think that if a neighbor comes over to borrow something from me, the least he could do is give you a report on what's going on with the wrestling, especially when his son's doing well. Okay, so this is for you out there, Killian. If you ever watch this show, okay, next time you come over to borrow something, I'm not going to give you anything until you give me some information. That's all it's going to be. Okay, got it? All right.
The Grizzlies, WEM/JWP.
Yep.
They are 3-7 for the year.
Just talk at them.
They had their big rival with NRHEG during the week. NRHEG won that one 41-31. And then they had the Gopher Conference individual tourney yesterday in St. Clair. And the Grizzlies finished 7th.
Okay.
The Panthers, they are 3-4 overall. As we mentioned, they defeated the Grizzlies. And then they were at the Gopher Conference individual yesterday, and they finished 2nd there. And I think, I always wanted to ask you this.
Yes.
Fairmont, Martin County West combined in wrestling, do they get to wrestle in both conference meets?
You got me.
Because they won the Gopher Conference meet, and I'm pretty sure they wrestle in the Big South one, too.
That's a question.
Fairmont.
That's a question for Andy.
Yeah, I think they do.
Andy, get on that. Get Ziggy out. Get that going.
Wrestling teams, Tuesday, the Jays will be at St. Clair to take on the Cyclones and Sibley East. Thursday, the Grizzlies will be at Faribault to wrestle Mankato East in Faribault.
Okay. I did find out you get 2 extra pounds now after Christmas.
Okay.
Okay, so if you're out there, those wrestlers out there, you guys can fatten up now a little bit.
And Thursday, NRHEG will be at Blue Earth to wrestle the Bucks and Waseca.
Ooh,
So that
little
pretty
triangular,
much takes
baby.
care of our local high school scenes, and we move on to the big time.
No
Teddy.
skiing reports
No
at all?
skiing reports.
Okay, all right.
Looking at the MSU Minnesota State Mavericks first, the basketball team, they defeated Wayne State. They lost to Augustana. They're 11-4 for the year. Not bad.
Augustana is what?
Augustana's,
Rated second or something in the polls.
The girls basketball team, the Mavs are having a tough go of it. They're 4-9. They lost to both Wayne State and Augustana. The Mavs in basketball are home next weekend. They have Bemidji State on Friday and Crookston on Saturday.
Crookston. Crookston.
The men's hockey team, they're 11-7-4. They split with Northern Michigan this weekend. Friday and Saturday, they'll make the long trek to Houghton, Michigan to face Michigan Tech.
Upper or lower peninsula? I don't either.
And the
UP, baby.
The women's hockey team, 3-17-2. They lost twice to St. Cloud, but
they played well.
Friday night was a shootout, and Saturday night was overtime. Lost to both. Saturday and Sunday, all they have to do is go up to Minneapolis and tango with the Gophers.
They showed some highlights of them on
Ouch.
TV yesterday.
Ouch, ouch,
They might
ouch.
as well be guys. I'm serious. They skate.
The Gusties, Teddy, men's basketball, they lost to St. Thomas, defeated Hammond. They are 5-7 for the year.
Okay.
Women's basketball, they lost to St. Thomas, defeated Hammond. They are 9-4 overall. The women host St. Catherine on Wednesday. The men host St. Olaf on Monday.
I noticed their hockey team, one of them played UW Stout.
Woo-woo!
The old alma mater, whatever we call that. But, yeah, that's kind of fun to see Stout make a trek over here.
The men's hockey team, 3-8-2. They lost to Eau Claire, and they lost to Stout, 5-3.
Oh, it did have that?
Yes.
Okay.
They play Superior on Friday. They play a lot of Wisconsin schools, don't they, in hockey?
Division threes.
And the women's hockey team, 3-7-3 overall. They lost to River Falls in overtime and lost to Stevens Point. They will play St. Catherine on Friday night.
Okay.
Gophers.
Yo.
Oh,
is there a sighting at all of the Gophers? Anybody seen them lately?
Have
you seen them lately?
That men's basketball. Oh, my goodness.
But they got lots of potential.
Well, they must be hiding it somewhere down on the bench. The Gophers, 6-10. They have lost, how many now? 6 in a row? 5 in a row? Something like 5 straight losses and 8 out of 9 losses.
Well, the losses are coming at home.
Yes.
That's not good.
They lost to Northwestern. Catch this score, folks, 77-52.
At home.
At home.
In the barn. Maybe they need to open up the barn and let some new cows in or something, but whoa, baby.
Tuesday, they head down to Big Red Country, Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
The women's basketball team, 11-4. They defeated Illinois, Teddy, 106-75.
Carly. Is it Carly?
19 three-pointers in the game. A new record. Bantam was 10 for 15 from three-point land.
Jeez.
Scored like 39. Carly did have 16 in that game. She's really having a solid year for the Jays as a sophomore. They play today. Michigan is in town to face the Lady Gophers. The men's hockey team, they are, I think, 8-11 overall. They split with Penn State over the weekend. They lost on Friday
and won last night.
Killed them last night, 7-1. They play Michigan State on Friday and Saturday next weekend.
I got a question.
Yep.
What is a Nittany lion? I'm serious.
Well,
Andy, any idea?
Some sort of a lion, because the mascot's always dressed up. He looks kind of like a lion.
But why is it a Nittany?
Well, I don't know, Teddy. Why don't you do research on that for this?
No, I don't get into that modern day Ziggy stuff. That's why you got Andy, okay? He's a technical guru.
The Lady Gopher hockey team, 16-3 for the year. Having another great year. They defeated Ohio State. I think they finished that series this afternoon. And then next week they have Michigan, or they play the Mavericks.
Yep.
Next weekend. Yep. Okay, Teddy, now we get into your favorite things. The powerful Minnesota Timberwolves.
Oh, I thought you were talking about something else.
12-25 for the year. We can't talk about that.
Okay.
12-25, the Wolves. And I don't know, I'm starting to lose faith fast, Teddy.
Well, they keep talking about Sam Mitchell. Well, I'm sorry. Okay, he's an interim coach. I think they need to find somebody. I don't mind the guy, but at the same time, with the talent they've got right now, they should have beaten Denver the other night. That was sad. There's a Pekovic sighting.
Yep.
Okay, and he doesn't run quite as smooth as the other guys run down the court. Okay, but at least he's playing.
Yep.
There's some of those millions of dollars now. He's probably down to about $500,000 a game.
Had 12 after sitting out for 3.5 years. Scored 12 in his return.
Yeah. I love his tattoos, though. They got darn nice tats. Nothing else. But, it's sad. They start out so, above what everybody projected, and they thought they'd get better, but they seem to be going backsliding. And they said maybe they were just going off the Flip Saunders death. They're feeding off that, and they're playing, and now it's kind of sunk in, and they don't have that feeling anymore that we're winning this for Flip. So, I don't know. It's fun to watch Towns. It's fun to watch Wiggins. Rubio is having a solid year, but I don't know.
It's a grind, I'm sure. You play 82 games, and they aren't even halfway through, and it seems like they've hit the wall right now because...
Did you watch the Cleveland game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they can't put it together for 4 quarters.
Yeah, they've hit a wall.
Yep. The Wild, 22-11-8. And last night,
baby.
Dallas, one of the best teams in hockey.
I was trying to watch 3 things at once. It was kind of tough to do. But what were you watching last night? You watching anything?
I watched Wild in the NFL games.
Okay, I watched NFL, and I had a Wild, and I had a basketball game on too. I wanted to see how Texas Tech would do against Kansas, and they were giving me all they could get. And Tubby Smith, you can say what you want about Tubby, but he's turned around Texas Tech in 3 years down there, so he still must have some coaching left in him. So I always liked Tubby, and but yeah, that was fun to watch.
The Wild beat Dallas 2-1 last night.
Yeah, the officiating stunk in the last. No offense out there, officials, because I usually don't blame you, but when you got a guy from the Wild gets slashed across the face, draws blood, no penalty, and then they call one in the last 3 minutes on the Wild.
Where was the game at, Ted?
It was at Dallas.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all we have to say.
That's okay.
The Wild will be at home on today, Tuesday, and Friday. So if you want to check out the Wild.
And Zach Parise had a hat trick earlier in the week. Yep. That was kind of fun to watch.
And pro football, let's look at the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings. And Teddy, I'm always kind of, smooth in the sugar. I never say what I really think.
Well, that's why you've been married so long.
My thought was, a lot of people say, well, that game, last week didn't really mean anything.
Yep.
My thought is kind of, you're both going to play one and be done, so you may as well have the division title behind your name.
You might as well. I hate to say it.
The Vikes beat the Pack 20-13.
It shouldn't have been that close either.
No,
really.
Patterson doesn't let the 60-pound kicker strip him. It's over.
It was, but at the same time, like you said, they're both probably going to be one and done. But it was a fun game to watch, really.
Yeah.
It kept everybody said had one of the highest ratings ever on a Sunday night. So, people out there must have watched it. And Peterson didn't do much. And now he's on the cover this week of Sports Illustrated. So there goes the old Sports Illustrated cover jinx. We'll see how that goes. I read the article, and you get another perspective of him, how he's brought up down south and things like that. But at the same time, he's had like 7 kids from I don't know how many different mothers. And probably, why would you highlight a person like that in a national sports magazine? No offense, but he's a heck of a running back.
Well, good news for you, Teddy.
Yes.
The Pack's on the road at Washington.
Oh, yeah.
And yesterday, both road teams won.
Yeah. And, well, the thing I liked last weekend was, everybody said you must really be down the Packers lost. I said, well, who would you rather play, Seattle or the Redskins?
And I will admit, Packer fans have an amazing way of overcoming any loss they have. There's always a good point to it.
Well, no, you hate to lose the Vikes, but at the same time, would you want to have another game this week with the Packer and Viking again?
Yeah.
Back to back?
Yeah.
Not me. I want to play somebody else and go somewhere in the playoffs.
And the Vikes, they will be a big underdog, although I understand it's gone down to 3 points now. It was 7 earlier in the week.
And it said in a ticker tape this morning that Marshawn Lynch is definitely out. He's not going to play. I thought he was going to play.
And they keep talking about how this weather favors the Vikes. I don't know how this weather could possibly favor anybody. Because can you imagine with 28 below wind chill trying to tackle Adrian Peterson or Lynch running at you? Can you imagine trying to catch a pass? It's
trying to
like
throw
a cement block coming at you and trying to throw it.
Yep.
So, but we're going to have chicken noodle soup on the sidelines, so our guys will stay warm.
But remember the old days when they'd be out there in December and January, Bill Brown, the boys' short-sleeve shirts.
It'll be fun to watch from the comfort of my home.
But there are guys saying they're not going to wear short-sleeve or long-sleeve shirts. They're going to wear short-sleeve because that's what they used to. They won't be bound up. I'm thinking, you're an idiot.
And I'm sure we'll see a line of about 6 guys with their shirts off.
Oh, yeah. They have a spell-out Vikings on there, and they'll have all hypothermia and everything else by tomorrow.
Teddy, those 2 games yesterday, Kansas City looked pretty good, defeated Houston 30-0. They will head to New England next week.
Did you see that Hoyer had for a quarterback?
Yes.
Oh, my God. They had an interview with him after the game, and that's sad.
4 interceptions, but he wasn't too upset. You can't define his career on one game.
No. And then the other 2 guys that had that, 4 interceptions and a home loss in the playoffs, are Roger Staubach and
both in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. So how can you argue that?
And in the second game, unbelievably, Pittsburgh defeats Cincinnati 18-16. So a
disgrace.
Steelers will go to Denver next week, and I imagine the status of Roethlisberger and their top receiver there are both.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how Roethlisberger came back in after the hit he took and landed right on his shoulder, but hey, it just showed experience.
How about Cincinnati, though, Teddy? Now, you're getting millions of dollars to play a game that's fun.
Yep.
And you can't have
completely lose your composure.
brain like that.
Yeah. Yep.
You headhunt to give them a shot at a long field goal, and then you go push an assistant coach who shouldn't be on the field?
Yeah.
What? Why would you? Now you give them a gimme for a field goal.
It reminded me of Odell Beckham when he should have been tossed out of the game early, and this guy was completely out of control, and they still let him. And he made a big play at the end. He had a big sack on Roethlisberger and put the injury on him, and that was not a vicious hit, or
and runs off the field.
And then he makes an interception. Think they won the game. And then the running back fumbles from Cincinnati. Of all you out there, I'm not telling you anything you don't already know, but it was a disgrace.
Yeah,
you can't. There's no law against stupidity. There isn't.
Teddy, on a high note.
On a high note.
How about the Bison, North Dakota State?
Isn't that
5 straight national titles.
Did you see how they started the game?
Unbelievable.
Jacksonville supposedly had this great offense, and these are what, 24-7 at halftime? No, 24. What was it halftime? Did they score?
Nothing, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
It was an unbelievable because that Jacksonville State quarterback's an All-American, and I didn't see much that he did all day.
I love that quarterback, North Dakota State. Mentz, or Wentz? Mentz.
Yep.
How do you pronounce it?
I don't know.
Okay, but it's like Once Upon a Time or something. But, hey, he looked good. And they're talking about he could be in the top 3 quarterbacks drafted. Yep. So, what a North Dakota State, you'd never put them up there. Mm-hmm. And here they are, just 5 in a row. And that's up there with the pinnacles.
Yep. Last thing I have, Teddy, is the Baseball Hall of Fame is going to put in Ken Griffey Jr.
Almost unanimous.
And Mike Piazza,
the
stellar catcher.
I like Piazza.
That is a tough Hall of Fame to get into, and it's getting tougher, isn't it?
Well, they showed it Roger Clemens and who else? What was it, Bonds?
Bonds and Clemens, the two.
They're not going to get in. There's no way. I don't see how they're going to get 75% of the vote when they're sitting down there in about 40s and 30s.
And every year more people get added. And it's tough. But congrats to those two. Ken Griffey was a great one. He was fun to watch on both sides of the ball.
Yes, he was. Anything else I got? 2-minute warning? I got some time.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to talk about college basketball and the parity in college basketball right now. I don't know if you watched that Oklahoma game.
The Gophers.
Did you watch Oklahoma, Kansas, that triple overtime?
Yes.
Oh, my God. For any basketball fans out there, if you didn't see it, find it somewhere and watch it. It is unbelievable. I mean, you got pro players saying it's the best game they've seen in years. And then they had another one yesterday with USC in Arizona, went 4 overtimes. And either one of them could have won it in either regulation time, first overtime. And
they both missed some good shots. Oh, geez.
I mean, just gimmies, and it's fun to watch, players that supposedly come through all the success and everything else, and they can't put through a winning shot. But then I got my song today, okay? They call them, you ever remember the song by Donovan? Mellow Yellow. Remember that song?
Yeah,
they call him Mellow Trimble. That's right. That's nice. They called him Mellow Trimble. I was watching my favorite Badgers yesterday.
Badgers down.
And he gets the ball with 12 seconds left. And he dribbles her down to 4. And I'm thinking, he's 10 feet behind the arc. I said, didn't he not get off shot? And then he just does one little drop step and pulls up and drains it. Boom, right in your face.
Question for you.
Yes.
Why do teams do that? The commentator said too long.
Yep.
Why don't they start with 12 seconds? Now it's all dribble till there's 6. Mm-hmm. Well, there's going to be no play. It's going to be one-on-one. Here we go.
I'm not a genius, but when we have a last-second play, we start at 12 seconds. So we at least got a chance to get an offensive rebound.
Yeah.
And, but he was just cool. And they talked to Spurgeon, the coach after the game, and he said that they're 15-1 when it comes down to the last minute of the game with Melo in the game. And so if you won 15 out of 16 games, and he says there's a reason why he won it, because he's got the ball at the end. Yeah. And the guy is he's class, and he's just good. Yeah. So I don't know what pro's going to get him. I hope maybe the Timberwolves can get him, but he is unbelievable. But ice water and just drained it. Yeah. The Wisconsin crowd's going nuts. They just tied it up, and
and you see him take that shot, you think, all right, he's way out of range.
Yeah, nope, that baby is nothing but net. Well, it wasn't net, but they call him Mellow Yellow. I love that song. That's right.
That'll do it for this week's show. Thanks to Steve and Hudson for producing the show. Thanks to my right-hand man, Teddy, Mr. Cold Hammond.
And I got my choppers. I don't know how many of them know what choppers are, baby. Choppers. Oh, baby, these are the only thing to have. Yep. I should, baby.
And thanks to you for watching. Hopefully we'll see you all next week.